Raaz is not a sex film. The entertainer in me is different from the thinker in me. Raaz is a phenomena and it's difficult to recreate.
A perception is that maybe something else was promised, but something else was delivered in terms of, and maybe that is what disappointed people. Now my question about Raaz 3 will be in that context, that you are having that element of passion as far as the promo is concerned, and Bipasha and Isha Gupta, both of them, they're known for their sensuous quotient. In fact, we've seen Isha Gupta in Jannat 2. I think she's a very, very good looking woman, but maybe people have not really seen that much in Jannat 2. And Bipasha, obviously, she has been there. She's the original Jism girl, in fact, and many would say in a way it's like a comeback of sorts for her as well. So in that context, will there be something for people as far as who are looking for that passion element from your movie?
Raaz as a franchise promises a few things.
Ji.
It promises, firstly, a very strong human story. It promises good music, it promises horror, and it promises sexuality. And all these four things are part of the film. But Raaz is not a sex film. Raaz is primarily a film about human relationships and horror. Sexuality is a big part of the film, but it is not a jism. It is not a hate story. It's got many more things to it than just sexuality. So if anyone is going to see Raaz 3 just for sex, then I would advise them not to do that, because that's not all the film is about.
Absolutely.
The film is about many more things.
One of the factors which you're enticing people in is through the 3D element of it. I think you showcase the promo late in the night for the media, the theatrical era, and the idea is just spook them up and all. And in that context, what sort of 3D are you getting into it in terms of technology? Are you totally sure of it?
Yeah, of course.
Because when it comes to VFX and all these things, money plays a lot of factor that in terms of what quality of effects you finally get. Because in Hollywood, the amount that is spent over there is humongous. So in that context, what are we? Because Bhatts are known to be very, very money conscious, and they spend very, very wisely or stingily, some would say. So in that context, is everything taken care of in terms of technology?
See, the thing is that Haunted has proved itself as a horror film with its VFX and its 3D. And Raaz just takes it one step further.
The promo is definitely looking good in terms of VFX and all. It definitely is looking good.
And, whatever is needed is there in the film. Much more than whatever is needed. I think the way you will see the 3D being used in Raaz will be to add a lot more scares, a lot more things coming at you, a lot more things making you duck, bringing in the fear factor with the film. So you're going to see a lot of that happening.
How do you look back at Raaz? You directed it, and it was a phenomenal success in terms of the amount of money that it was made in and amount of money that it finally ended up earning. And I'm sure that it was a new lease of life for you as well, and you worked with Hrithik Roshan immediately after that, I still remember. He was the hottest star at that point of time. And how do you look back at Raaz now?
Raaz was not a new lease of life for me, because I had done Gulam and Kasoor just before Raaz.
Sure.
And as a matter of fact, Hrithik and Amisha's film had started way before Raaz released. As a matter of fact, it released just 2 months after Raaz. And Raaz did well and that didn't, but that's another matter. Raaz is a phenomena, and it's difficult to recreate Raaz. It's far simpler to create something different but as good than to imitate Raaz 1, because Raaz 1 had some elements of obsession, of love. This one has elements of love and jealousy. So this is, like that, they're two different films. But if you ask me, is Raaz 3 better than Raaz 1? Because both are human stories, both are emotional stories and horror stories, then I would say Raaz 3 is much more power packed.
ये जादू टोना काली विद्या सब बंद करनी पड़ेगी तुमको।
इस ऊंचाई पे पहुंचने के बाद अब मुझे कोई नहीं गिरा सकता।
All right, and you've recently said in interview that repeatedly scaring viewers is a challenge. You have made quite a few horror films. That is something that has become, in a way, your forte as well. You're also having 1920, Evil Returns, that is a sequel to 1920, and you're also having a Haunted Part 2, which is coming up. So why is it just scary, it's difficult to just repeatedly scare viewers? What are the expectations from people?
I think the time has come for branding. Everybody wants you to be some kind of a brand. People expect something out of you. And as I say, I'm a fear peddler. Some people peddle laughter, some peddle romance, I peddle fear.
I think you're also having Hate Story Part 2 as well. I think you're peddling something else as well. And I think that is a decent brand as well.
Yeah.
You can't take that away because I think it's a ready-made brand now because you're just having a hate story. I'm sure that hate stories will always be there.
Yes, of course. And Hate Story Part 2 is very much on the cards, and it will be directed by Vivek Agnihotri.
Okay, and Pauli Dam is going to be acting in that?
Pauli Dam got shot in
Acha.
the first part.
She can't come back
so
now.
She can't. It's not a reincarnation film.
Okay, so who's acting
We
in
don't
it?
know as yet. We're still working on the script.
Okay, and when is it going to start?
End of the year. Vivek is busy with another film of his.
Right.
When he finishes that one, then we'll start with this.
And you're supposed to do another movie with Pauli called Love Games. What is the latest on that? Is it
Love
up?
Games is not happening.
Okay, but why is it? Because I think the concept was quite interesting, and I think you have spoken about it quite passionately in.
Yeah, it is, but it's not happening immediately. Is what I mean. Because there are things that are on the anvil, and there are things that are happening, and you know, the film industry is a dynamic place. Things are changing every day, so. At this point, we've just put it on the back burner.
And you're getting back to working with Bhatts once again. You are relatives, and you were maybe there were some differences in the past, and you guys didn't work together. I'm sure that everyone must be asking you the same question now. But how is it different? Like, say, just getting back once again, and
I mean, when one has worked so much.
your father has worked with Bhatt Saab a lot. He's done some wonderful cinematography for many of his films, in fact, and you guys are related. So
We are not related. We just share the same surname.
Achha, that okay.
But the thing is that, I mean, because we work together and always work together, people
Right.
think that, you know, Pooja is my cousin. But in a way, we are more than related. Because Bhatt Saab is someone who I assisted with. Mukesh ji is my friend. We've spent some great times together, made a lot of films together.
Achha.
So yeah, I mean, one has been part of that crew and part of that family, and misunderstandings do happen, and you do move away, and then you do realize the uselessness of that. And I'm happy to come back, and I am very grateful to Mukesh ji and Bhatt Saab and for what they have done for me, and I'm here to repay and to show my gratitude.
Finally, last question, Mr. Bhatt, I've spoken to you earlier about this as well, that in the beginning of the interview, you made a statement like that there are no second chances to first impressions. You know, you have that element of, I think, a writer in you. I think you were writing a book as well when we last spoke to you. And that element of, element of intellectualism which is there in you. Maybe we're not seeing that in your movies, and what you're making is for the consumption of the people and the audience. Filmmaking is a very, very I think ruthless profession, as you've also mentioned that you've had a film that didn't work, and obviously it brings in the pressure and all. But do we see Vikram Bhatt maybe directing a film which comes in from within in terms of your intellectualism and whatever you believes in? I've read your column. I'm a fan of your columns. In fact, you write very well as far as your column is concerned, and you have a different perspective over there.
I think it depends. I would not like to talk down to the audiences. I don't think audiences are unintelligent. But, you know, people come to the films for entertainment. You read a column for insights, but you don't come to a film for insights. You come to a film to be entertained, to have a good time. So I think the entertainer in me is different from the thinker in me. And I think the thinker in me should not subject the people to his thoughts while they are in a theatre. They should come, enjoy and go. I would rather have a schizophrenic existence like that than try and be, you know, pontificating and talking down to my audiences.
But Mr. Bhatt, we've had cinema which has had entertaining elements at the same time. They've given maybe some sort of, maybe in a way, a thought for the soul, like say, like the Tare Zameen Par has been there, like there's a Chak De India which has entertaining, but at the same time it had a point of view. There's a Wednesday has been there, and Mumbai Meri Jaan. Quite a few films have been there, even in the recent past, where we have seen that it's entertaining at the same time. There is a thought for the soul as well. So, any chances that at any point of time, do you think about it?
If an entertaining idea that I have has elements of some world truths or world wisdom, which I can instill, I would definitely do it. But that is not my priority.
Fantastic. So that was Mr. Vikram Bhatt talking about his next film, Raaz 3, which is looking good. And he has just clarified on all the controversies that he's doing the rounds about that it's based on the life of a certain actress, and all the media reports that are coming into the picture right now. He's also spoken about what he's doing next, what his production house is doing next, and personally, I would definitely want to see a Vikram Bhatt film where I get to see some element of what I've read in his columns, and at that point of view, I think it's very interesting and it can be entertaining as well. I really hope so, and I generally hope that it happens at some point of time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being on Bollywood Hungama, and all the best wishes.
Thank you.
That's all from Bollywood Hungama. Keep on watching.